What if I told you that you were infinitely special, that you are rare, one of one, and irreplaceable? Kind of mushy, kind of comforting. Maybe the idea of being so unique is exciting, but what if the reality of this truth is daunting? Do you believe me? Do you want this to be true? And how can you find out? These are some deep questions, but now that we're both here, what is the next step? Go deeper with one more question. What would you do if you could do anything? I was given this scenario in real life when I was medically separated from the Marines when I was 24 years old. I had a blank slate on my communities and commitments, and my bills were completely covered by the military disability pay. It wasn't like winning the lottery or anything, but my wife and I had simple hobbies like going to the gym, and our living expenses were pretty low. I was right in the middle of that scenario. What would I do if I could do anything? I started out pretty much doing nothing, and even some obviously stupid things, but after a while I found my life to be pretty empty. I truly began to wonder what I was supposed to be doing with my life. This quickly led to questions like, do I even know what I like to do? What do I see other people doing? And what's the purpose of life? But despite the despair I felt in the depths of my identity crisis, I found a lifeline. In the little bit of work I had retained after being essentially fired, I worked in the gym to PT the injuries I had from the Marine Corps, and I picked up photography as a hobby and side hustle. In a sea of complex questions and seemingly no way out, I started to notice pockets of peace. When I put my mind and energy to work in the gym or in taking or editing photos for the few and infrequent clients I could find, it wasn't the money that satisfied me. No one was paying me to work out, and the photography clients almost never paid me. Mostly because I didn't ask them to, and if I did, I wasn't asking for very much. This journey I was on began to indicate an answer to my scenario that I wasn't expecting. I could basically do anything I wanted, and I found myself wanting to work. Growing up, listening to adults complain all the time made me think that the purpose of life was to retire as soon as possible. A negative worldview for sure, but I could see where it came from. Sometimes I loved working and sometimes I hated it. I decided I only liked to work in very, very specific ways. I knew I had discovered something important. I liked meaningful and challenging work, but at the same time it had to be very specific, meaningful, and challenging work. Most of my clients were small businesses and entrepreneurs that I had become friends with at the gym. That's the majority of the people you run into when you sleep in and hang out at the gym from 9 to noon every day. I ended up doing some low-level side work for many of my friends and clients when they needed help, but not media. I learned that I loved to take videos of people cleaning out old, decrepit hoarder houses, and I loved documenting the remodeling process and seeing the houses come back to life. But I didn't get the same satisfaction my friends did from filling dump trailers and picking new paint to optimize the resale value at the end. I loved work, but different work than the people around me. I discovered a deep truth on this journey as an entrepreneur. We are all designed differently and uniquely for very specific purposes. This conclusion brought peace to the sea of questions I was drowning in. But when this truth clicked into place, it generated a tsunami-sized wave that changed my life forever. If everyone is designed specifically, then who was the designer? I grew up in a Christian household, but when I went to school, evolution and random genetic mutations seemed like a far more plausible explanation for where we came from, rather than an invisible sky daddy. The nuance I encountered in my search for satisfying work began to unlock understanding about my identity. And when I started to understand myself better, I started to understand the idea about the loving creator. I had grown up hearing about it, but I never really bought into it. If you've made it this far, there's really no turning back from these questions I have stirred up in the depths of your spirit. But these are the questions that your soul desires answers to, and a part of you will never find rest until you find the truth. You can probably sense that tsunami-sized wave building in your gut right now. This story is doing a lot more than you expected, but you chose to watch a video titled, "What is the Purpose of Life?" I have good news for you though. That tsunami-sized wave heading your way is the biggest wave of love that you will ever encounter. So what's next? Join the military and get medically separated so you can be an entrepreneur? Close. But no, I have found so much good in this process that I want to build a simulation for others to grow in the same way I have. It's 20 super short videos, all less than 5 minutes, designed to reveal and unlock your identity. Whether you want to be an entrepreneur or not, you can still achieve some of the same self-discovery by spending time asking the question, if you could do anything, what would you do? This is your escape the matrix moment, and all it will cost you is your time. But in order to figure out your identity, you must go into the simulation. What would you do if you could do anything? Take the SoMe challenge and start unlocking the truth about who you are, or drown out the voice of your soul that deeply craves answers and the truth. What do you want? Freedom and deep satisfaction, or convenience and quick dopamine? The choice is yours.